Good evening. Please forgive me for eating and talking at the same time. I have had a busy day. It's still busy. I would really like to sit and do nothing, but it's not going to happen. I might be able to see some football, and if I can, I will. But anyway, I've been asked a specific question about prison, and I'm going to give my tuppence worth of thoughts. The question being what I think of the new proposed early release scheme that's designed to empty some cells so that we can chuck more people in them. So I feel like I've been slightly in this position before, just slightly. If you remember back to 2011, the South London riots, and all the looting and all the madness, Boris Johnson out on the street looking like a dishevelled tramp as usual. And a lot of arrests were made, and I remember my Dutch friend, I was getting close to release at this time. I think I had about 3 or 4 months left, and he was adamant, you will be released early, there'll be no spaces in the prison. Nah, I didn't buy into that, and I wasn't released early. So they always find a way to hang on to them. So the proposal is that people serving a determinate sentence, and I'll explain what a determinate sentence is. I've had 2 of them, both 17 years. Determinate means that you have a conditional release date, and it's set in stone. Unless, like me, you get a few extra days for being caught with a phone on your second sentence. So the idea is that the time served inside on a determinate sentence, which has always, well, not always, but for a long time now, it's been 50%, and then serve 50% of your prison sentence in the community, which I am doing now. Not everybody gets an organised crime prevention order as well, but happy days, I got one. So they're talking about cutting the halfway point down to 40%. Right, so my first thought is I don't think it'll actually happen, but really, just the fact that it's being talked about means that things are pretty desperate. I remember a while ago, the Home Secretary, I believe it was at the time, told the courts not to put any sex offenders in jail for a year. Sorry, I'm in a bit of a hectic mood, so yeah, that was a good one. Anyway, things must be bad. Things have always been bad. Honestly, I can remember some point during my first sentence, which ended 13 years ago, I remember at some point there a proposal to, lighten the load back then. Prisons were full, almost at operational capacity across the board. Nothing happened. They just muddled through. I know they used police cells as temporary kind of pit stops for people. I think that's kind of up to its capacity as well. The main reason I don't think this will happen is because we now have a new government and a new prime minister, and if you can imagine how they'll be feeling about the idea of one of the first major things they say to their electorate: oh, by the way, we're going to let out thousands of prisoners early. I don't think that's a very good idea for them. Obviously, there's not an election now for probably another 5 years maybe, but that will not be popular. That will cause a shitstorm, in my opinion. If they do go through with it, fair enough. I don't really particularly have any thoughts either way. I know that probation is really stretched very, very thin at the moment as well, so I don't know quite how that's going to work out for probation when you suddenly release thousands more prisoners that they weren't expecting at that time. So I think, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I can't say on the one hand, yeah, release them all, let them all out. And I can't, on the other hand, say, no, keep them all in. I have to be kind of neutral about it all. And even if I didn't have to be neutral, I don't think I would have much of an opinion on it, really. To use a kind of modern day nonsense phrase, it is what it is, I suppose. I would say, first and foremost, let's see if anything actually looks like it's going to happen. That I believe they could use emergency powers to bring this through pretty rapidly, but yeah, I'm not sure it's going to be high on the list of things to spend time and energy with right now for a brand new government and a brand new Prime Minister. We'll see. I'm not an expert. I'm a layman as much as anyone else, really, because this is a question. This is a societal question, not a prisoner, ex-prisoner or whatever question. I think generally the consensus would have to be that no, we definitely don't want this to happen, because obviously the usual kind of line will be rolled out, releasing rapists and murderers early to roam our streets, and don't get me wrong, I don't want rapists to ever be released from prison, if I'm perfectly honest with you, but the scary thing is there's many, many more of them out here getting away with it than there are locked up. I'm not going to go into the statistics, but I think we all know any rape accusation, only a tiny fraction of them even get a charge, let alone a prosecution and a conviction. So, yeah, watch your backs. Yeah, so I guess I'm just going to conclude by saying I don't really have an opinion on this. For being now a member of the public that I am, I guess I'll just go about my business like I always do. For people who've had no experience of arrest, charge, conviction, imprisonment, you have to form your own opinions. And they'll be based on the same as all opinions are, a collection of a random set of pieces of information, followed by using your own kind of natural and also instilled set of beliefs and your moral code, and you'll make a decision as to what you think about it all. It'll be interesting to know, so feel free to fire in some comments. I'm sure everybody's got an opinion on it, so like I said, just for my last word, I'm not sure it will happen. Enjoy the football.